this, they will have to respond and evolve to fit their local environments in exactly the same way as species do. Imagine architecture matching the richness and variety of the natural world. But we still have one problem: waste.
As human beings, we waste so much. Over 70 million tons of waste is produced in the construction industry every year. This amounts to 4 times the rate of household waste production. In our buildings, we use many different materials: steel, brick and plastic, all mixed up, making it very difficult to recycle. How can we put a stop to this? A fundamental lesson we need to learn is that nature is cyclical in the way it consumes. When something dies, it is reabsorbed into the system and reused. Think about a forest. The nutrients are taken from the ground. The plants grow leaves. The leaves provide the energy. When it comes to winter, these leaves drop. They go back into the ground, where they are broken down, and those nutrients go back into the plants. It's this concept of cycles that we need to recreate within modern architecture.
In nature, there is virtually no waste. If something is being wasted, a species will evolve to exploit it. It's kind of how ecosystems work, and it's best summed up by the idea of symbiosis, a number of organisms working together for mutual benefit. There's a town in Denmark called Kalundborg where they're exploring this idea with factories and businesses. They're developing something called industrial symbiosis, where factories and businesses work together for mutual benefit.
In this town, one company's byproduct becomes an important resource to one or several of the other companies surrounding it. Saving them huge amounts of money.
This vast, deafening machine is the very heart of the Kalundborg symbiosis process. And it's a bit of a paradox, because this is a coal-fired power station turbine. Coal-fired power stations are not known for being environmentally sensitive, but the act of cleaning up that process and the waste products that that produces has allowed and encouraged the factories and businesses to cluster around it. So it's really this thing that is driving this whole ecological process.
The power station lies at the heart of a very clever environmental cooperation between 6 industries, 20 projects and 1 municipality.
In the town of Kalundborg, about 15,000 people get their hot water and heating from a district heating program that uses the waste hot water from the power station. Normally this energy is just dumped. There's a fish farm down there which uses water coming out of this channel at 4 to 5 degrees warmer than the sea temperature to make the fish go quicker, to make it more commercially viable. Cleaning the smoke from the power station, they create gypsum, which is used over there in a plasterboard factory. They also create fly ash, which is used in a cement factory. Right over the back there is a biochemical and pharmaceutical company. They use steam from the power station for a heat source and for sterilisation. And the biochemical factory also produces yeast as a byproduct, which, this being Denmark, is used to feed 800,000 pigs a year. Lake water is used for cooling purposes in the oil refinery. After that, that water comes here, where it's used to clean the exhaust gases and also for cooling. Steam from the power station is used in the oil refinery to heat the crude oil as it comes off the boat. Sludge from the waterworks is used by a soil remediation, a soil cleaning company over behind those trees. Bottom line is, it's a very complicated relationship. All the waste and energy is flowing from one business and one process to another. And in that way, it's exactly like an ecosystem. Why, when Kallenberg has been running successfully for over 30 years, have so few places tried to replicate it? Well, I think the answer is quite simply because we just don't value the destruction of the planet. Now, symbiosis is not a new idea. It's been going on since the beginning of life on Earth. And we need to understand that the byproducts, the waste of one activity, can and must become the resource for others. I think a deeper understanding of nature in this way could lead to a fundamental change in our culture for the better.